Piled high in the warehouse of Durham's counterculture coffee, you'll find La Golondrina. It means the swallow in Spanish. Oh, no, you won't find the actual bird, the swallow, in amongst the burlap bags, but you will find the coffee named La Golondrina. It's from Colombia. There's even a swallow pictured on the bag. And the journey of the La Golondrina coffee bean would make its namesake proud. That journey starts high in the Andes Mountains of Colombia. The farms vary in size, and they lie in clusters around villages. The growing and harvesting of coffee is almost all manual. The beans are picked, washed, and dried in the sun. Technically, raw coffee beans are actually seeds. That bean is very hard. It has virtually no flavor or aroma, and the raw bean is pretty bitter. But that's where the science of coffee comes in. It starts with heat, when the La Golondrina beans are roasted.
We're stripping away free moisture in the coffee, but we're also starting to develop some chemical reactions. Notably, caramelization and Maillard reactions are occurring, where we're taking some of the sugars, like sucrose predominantly, that's found in coffee, and we're starting to break it down. And we're starting to develop a lot of the volatile components, so the smells of coffee come out when you roast it.
You can think of a Maillard reaction as the general term for the hundreds of chemical reactions that are happening inside the bean at high temperatures. Those reactions create new chemical compounds that are locked inside the bean, and it's those new compounds that give coffee its flavor qualities, the taste, the aroma, the body. That's because coffee roasting is a product of time and temperature. In general, the average roasting temperature is 400 degrees. The average time, about 15 minutes. Darker roasts have a higher final temperature.
So really light roasted coffee, you're not burning off as much of the water and other organic compounds, whereas a dark roasted coffee, you've really stripped away all that.
That means while he's roasting, Jeff is doing a lot of math in addition to chemistry. That's because roasting can remove almost 20% of a coffee's weight. Here's a typical math problem.
Maybe, for us today, there's 1,500 pounds of Toscano. That's going to take probably 10 batches on my largest machine, because that machine I can roast about 195 pounds at a time. That's green weight. And I know that's going to yield out about 160, 165 pounds per batch. So do that about 10 times, I would have enough to cover that 1,500 pounds.
Roasters use what are called triers to see and smell a sample of the roasting coffee. It's the aroma that is most important. The aroma tells the roaster how well the coffee is developing, how smoothly it's developing, and ultimately when it is finished roasting and ready to cool. Roasting leaves the bean with hundreds of new chemicals inside that create a lot of desirable flavors that can be tapped with heat, and that's where the hot water for brewing comes in. Ironically, for all the amazing new chemicals inside the bean, only about 30% of the bean is actually extractable or usable, and of that, only about 20% actually tastes good.
So when you're brewing, you're trying to aim for that 18 to 22% extraction percentage, and you're controlling your variables, the recipe, so the coffee to water ratio, the size of your grind particle, which affects the way that the water flows through the coffee and how the coffee extracts or dissolves into your solution, and then the amount of time that it takes for the water to pass through the coffee.
And there's a lot more chemistry involved in brewing. That's because brewing coffee is essentially making a solution with two ingredients, water and coffee.
The magic ratio for brewing coffee is 1.6 to 2 grams of coffee for every 28 grams or 1 ounce of water.
Coffee beans are ground to increase the surface area that's exposed to the water, which makes it easier to extract or dissolve the desired chemicals. The water is heated because the extraction of molecules from a solid happens much faster and easier at a high temperature. Lydia Ianetti, who teaches coffee brewing at Counterculture Coffee, says coffee begins losing its flavor as soon as it is ground. That's because of the greater surface area that's exposed to oxygen. So, coffee tastes best if it is brewed immediately after it is ground. And the coffee should be brewed with water that is about 200 degrees or slightly off boil.
The water is dissolving, it's dissolving soluble material from the coffee itself. So it's making a solution with some of the ground coffee. The finer the coffee grind, the faster the water can extract because there's more exposed surface area. The coarser the grind, the water has to work a little harder.
The key to a good cup of coffee is to leave the bean and the water in contact just long enough to extract the good flavors, but not long enough to pull out the bad. Acids are extracted first, while sugars and bitterness come later. And because the fineness of the grind affects brewing, the grind must match the brewing method. Brewing methods that expose coffee grounds to hot water longer require coarser grounds than a faster brewing method.
You're trying to control, how much caffeine you're extracting, how much flavoring material you're extracting.
Turns out the La Golondrina coffee bean not only travels a long ways, it goes through a lot. To make the perfect cup of coffee.
There's a lot of science that sort of goes into making coffee taste great.